Hello and welcome to another episode. This is Steve from Laser Matrix Engraving, and today's episode is going to be another little project that I found on Thingiverse. And what I'm trying to do with these episodes is just kind of show the versatility of what these cheaper machines can achieve. And so far I've been pretty pleased with what I've been producing. And this is just going to be one more test to find out exactly what these machines are capable of, the intricacy, and what I like to call the finesse projects. So stick around and we'll get on to the next project. Alright, the finished product here. I think the cuts came out really nice, and the engraving didn't go through on the other side, which I didn't want it to, so we're good there. And all my cuts just fell right out, so everything worked the way it should. So on to the build. Okay, here we see the finished cuts and engraving, and this is how I'm laying it out so that I put it together correctly. I want these going in like this. So I'm lining them up the way that they're going to go in, and you will see how I do that. Okay, so we're going to be starting with this piece first, and just kind of slips in there like so. Sorry, like this. And they're all going to kind of go in these slots like so. That's the start. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is these cuts here. These little tab things here are going to have to come up. Okay. And I don't bend them too far. Now the person that makes these probably makes them a little bit different than what I'm doing. And I will try and put up a link to his website so that you can get all this information. Okay, so there we have our tabs built up. Okay, now the next part is going to be this, and I have this the way I want it to be. This is going to have to be in an up position when you put this together. And I found this to be one of the hardest parts of this, just because the tabs want to come out after you get one set in and go to put the next one in. They all want to kind of come apart. But just do your best at getting these tabs bent. And also do not bend these tabs all the way and fold them, because when you first start out, before you put this piece on, because they will get weakened and they won't hold at all. Okay, next is our nameplate piece, and these tabs here are going to fold down. And this is the second hard part, because each one of these tabs is going to have to go underneath this ring piece. It's not easy, but I like to start with maybe 2 if I can. Let me position this a little bit differently here. Okay, I'm going to attempt this. Again, it's not very easy to get these tabs in without bending everything. that's what's really hard, is to keep it from going under the ones that you don't want it to go under. Once you get it started, it goes under there pretty good. Okay. Then you can see how this is going to end up closing once you get it right. Okay, I had to kind of work on, I couldn't do it on camera because it required no camera in front of me to do this, but so I got these tabs underneath the ring in here, and at this point I know that on the person that makes these, or that developed this or made the file, he sells these kits for these that come with little strips of adhesive, and I happen to have some 3M double-sided sticky tape. This is 300 LSE from 3M. So I'll just cut off a strip of that and then attach it. And if you have a laser, you can use the laser to cut your strip. Okay, so what I've done is I've put a piece of double-sided sticky tape over there and one over here. Okay. Now all that's left is just removing this side of the double sticky tape so that I can close this. Okay, so I'm trying to get this. Aha, there we go. Not out of the woods yet. Okay, I think I'm good. There. Okay, one more side. The thing that makes this difficult is just that things can come undone when you're trying to put the rest of it together. Okay, that's done. And then I think it's starting to come out here. This is more aesthetics than anything. But there you have it. And this is the Iris business card. Woo. And it's everything I hoped it would be. Very cool. So you could actually take these and use them as business cards for your customers. Just a little something that they can mess around with, and it has your name, and they're always reminded of you. And that's all there is to it. Pretty cool little project. Now the toughest part I found is these tabs, because they tend to want to come apart. Now it could be the construction paper that I'm using. It's just kind of difficult. It just doesn't want to stay the way that you originally bend it. So, but I'm calling this good. So, the Iris business card. Yeah. So this project was a demonstration of paper engraving and paper cutting. So again, I have to give the cheap eBay laser from China high grades, because everything that it was supposed to do with paper, it did. There was no complaints. My engraving was surface. It didn't go all the way through. My cuts were perfectly through and fell right out. The only flaw in this whole thing is just probably the materials I'm using. I don't know. The tabs, I'm thinking that there's a way of maybe gluing those down or something, and then gluing the other tabs that the Iris has, and keeping those out of the way and keeping these from moving would be a good thing to do. But other than that, this is good enough. I like it. I know that anybody that I do business with that I gave this to would enjoy it, would think it's pretty cool, and that's what counts. That's what you want. So that's that. That's a pretty quick little project. The most time was spent fixing the file so that it would run on the laser system, but even that was no problem. So if you're planning on doing this, again, I got my materials from Amazon, and this is the cardstock that I used, Astro Brights. The colors are almost exact with what you see on here, so that's good. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Iris business card. And I will have a link down below to any materials that I used. And join me next time for my next project. And I'm glad that you joined me for this one. Thanks. Ask that you subscribe and hit the like button and the little bell, which will notify you the next time I post. So there you go.